We'll come into focus here. All right, everyone. One of these days I'm actually going to come up with some kind of an actual unified intro. I don't think it's going to be hey, it's your boy. That's just not me. Anyway. Thanks for checking out this video this week. I am the 5-string fairy, Jesse Brooks, and let's begin. For the last week or so, last week, I've basically been endeavoring to learn the viola as part of a 30-day challenge to learn a new instrument. And I thought this would be a good time to go through some of the things that I think are helping in learning something new in a set time frame, or even just getting to that point. Some of this is useful for learning an instrument. I think it's useful for a lot of other things too. And there are many other people who talk about these sort of things. And I'll probably link some of those other videos in the description, just the resources to kind of help with these sort of things. But these are 5 things that I think are helpful, or 5 tips that I think are helpful for learning something new. Point number 1, have a goal. I think it's important to know what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it. I think if you follow Simon Sinek, he basically says start with why. So why am I trying to do this thing, learn this thing, develop this new skill? I need to know what that is. I need to understand what that goal is. And then I think I need to actually set an expectation of time. How long? A time frame. Maybe that's a 1.2 there, 1.5. A lot of times having a goal and having a time frame on that goal just helps you maintain that motivation to actually do it. In this particular case, I'm trying to learn to play the viola in 30 days. Will I actually do it? I'll let you know in about 3 weeks. But I'm going to try and do it now, and therefore I need to set myself up for success. Which brings me to point number 2. For something like this, to develop a new task, I need to find ways to remove any of the barriers that would keep me from doing that. If I kept my viola in storage across town, odds are I would not practice it every day, and very much so I would not learn it in 30 days. So I need to set up my environment so that it's easy for me to pick up the viola and play it. For my basses and my guitars, my pianos, they're all out. There's usually a chord right nearby. There's usually a bass amp not too far away from my basses or guitars. And so it's easy for me just to walk by, grab one, and play it for a few minutes. So that barrier or that entry fee to actually interacting with the instrument is almost gone. It's relatively easy for me to get to the viola and actually pick it up and play it. I keep everything I need to play the viola right there so that I can just grab it and go. The chin rest, the tuner, the bow, everything's right there. And I think that just reduces the friction to actually try and learn this instrument. Working from home, because of today's situation, is also a benefit because I can, in between meetings, grab it and maybe work on something, or go through a quick scale or something just to keep something going with my fingers. I can work on my bowing. I can do all these kind of things relatively quickly, and then I can put it right back down and get back to doing something else. So it's very easy for me. So I think that is a big helper. Number 3, I think is important, is to actually have a plan. Number 3, have a plan. If you ever get the opportunity, check out Strong Songs podcast by Kirk Hamilton. It's a very good music-based podcast where he goes through and just kind of picks a song and explores what makes it a great song. You should definitely check it out. One of the things he actually will say every once in a while or talk about is the difference between playing and maybe noodling around with your instrument and actually practicing, because there is a difference. I'll pick up my basses, especially now, and I'll just play through some things I already know. I'll just maybe get a groove going, just a few minutes of not really thinking about anything, just having some fun. Not really growing, I'm just playing, having fun. With the viola, it's different. When I pick it up, there is a purpose. I'm trying to learn something. I'm trying to correct something. I'm trying to fix my bowing. I'm trying to work on my intonation, because this is essentially a fretless instrument, and where you put your fingers actually matters. And I think it's important to have a plan. Always know what it is you're working on. And so that way you can kind of keep an eye on whether or not you're progressing. And that leads pretty well into number 4. Keep track of what you're practicing. Be able to track it. So I've heard the concept of a practice journal. I believe that is very important, or at least to be able to keep track of it. I would also say maybe recording. So me doing the daily vlog, video recording on my personal channel, you know, over here, shameless plug, or maybe it's here. Anyway, on my personal channel. Basically, I'm keeping track of myself actually going through my routine. I'm actually trying to see where my flaws are, see where I think I need to improve, to trying to hit that level of being able to play the viola. I need to work on my string crossings. So if I'm on one string, it's very crisp, it's very clear. When I start going to a different string, it gets there's a little bit of a squeak in there that annoys me. But I'm able to track that, and I can work on my bowing between different strings and going back and forth. I really wouldn't be able to work on that if I didn't know I needed to work on that. So being able to keep track of those things and record the things I actually need to work on is very beneficial. Number 5 is kind of maybe a no-brainer, but for me it's important, is always be learning. What I'm doing is I'm focusing on learning from people who already play the viola. I don't have to invent this. I didn't invent the instrument, so there are other people who are doing it, so I can learn from them. If you were to look at my YouTube feed a couple weeks ago, it's all photography and cameras and lighting and things like that, because that was something I was working on. Now it's violin and viola players, it's cello players, it's classical music, it's things about bowing, it's things about vibrato and intonation and practice routines and how to get better at an instrument. I'm listening to more music that is written specifically for viola. I'm listening to popular music that is being played on the violin or the violas, just so I can just hear the instrument and hear what's going on with it. I'm zeroing in on it. I'm reading up on it. I'm watching, I'll just list a few channels that I've been watching, learning about how the viola and the violin have been made, how they're constructed, how they're repaired, how they're built, how they make the sounds they make, the differences between the sound. Interesting to me to see the pros do it, see how they go through their motions, and then find out how did they get there. I mean, they spent their 10,000 hours, but what were they doing to their 10,000 hours? What are the things that could actually help me to improve? So those are the 5 things that I think would help anybody learning an instrument. And just for review, it's have a goal and know what you're trying to achieve. Number 2, set up your environment to be as frictionless as possible so that you can actually practice what you're trying to learn. Number 3, have a plan, have a routine, have something that you want to do. And number 4, have a way to track that plan or routine so you can see your improvement, see where maybe you need to adjust your plan. And number 5, always be learning. That's all I got for you this week. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.